Okay, Shalom, Shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah, Koholoyimla, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah HaKadosh. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth, and just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan Nawach, just coming at you with another quick lesson. I'm praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And this guy right here, Schneider, if you're familiar with him, played in some old silly ass movies back in the days. Had a little career. He's a comedian though. And I think I'm trying to think that they banned him or kick him out of Canada for saying certain jokes. You know what I'm saying about LGBTQ. Something I don't even know. Don't quote me on it right off. But I remember something about him. That was like the last time I seen him. Is this guy? How is this guy still relevant? But it says, why are you trying to make baseball gay? Actor Rob Schneider is ready to pay fines for any Major League Baseball player if penalized for wearing Bible verses. So I seen this the other day too. One of the players, he had I think Genesis 19 on his hat. They had warned him, not to pretty much desecrate the uniform, so to speak, because the uniforms, got the little rainbow on it and shit, And you got to ask yourself, like, why is Esau trying to pretty much effeminize a manly sport like that? These are big dudes, man. These are big guys. These guys are, Major League Baseball, man. I don't think nobody's under 200 pounds. You know what I'm saying? These are big, strong guys, man, that, hit a fucking ball, you know what I'm saying? Shit, 2-3 football fields. So why is it that they're, and a lot of Northern Kingdom, Jake really just dominates the sport. That's all sports though. But yeah, why are they trying to do that? So it says the Major League Baseball the MLB has promoted inclusively and diversified by supporting Pride Month during the regular season. Almost every organization except the Texas Rangers host a Pride Night promotional event in May. But some players are taking a stance against it in support of their religious beliefs, sparking a major social debate among game fans. Now, when they say their religious beliefs, they believe in white Jesus, which is an idol. We always explain that there's no letter J, E, O, U, or V in the Hebrew alphabet. The letter J was invented in 1524 by a grammarian named Giorgio Trissino. So 2,000 years ago, no one was called Jesus. And that image that you normally see, the most famous one, I think, was painted or created around 1948. The one that you normally see, everywhere. The ones that you see in people's houses. You might open a Bible and you might see those pictures of them, some of the newer Bibles. But generally the ones that that particular painting became very, very popular in 1948, I think, around that time. But then you had some more Renaissance pictures as well that go back, with these stringy-haired so-called white guys portraying themselves as the Son of God, you know what I'm saying? Which these are idols, because the true name of the Father is Yahweh, and the true name of his Son is Yahweh Shai. And it's very important to know those names. Yahweh, Yahweh, Yah meaning he, Hawa is going to exist, or the existing one. He is to be. And Yah meaning he, Hawa Shai, means savior or deliverer in the Paleo Hebrew. That's the biblical name for the Father and Son, not Jehovah, not Jesus. You got to get that right. So when they say religious beliefs, this is what they believe. They believe in that particular image, and they really believe that it's true. So it's, they actually really wholeheartedly believe that they are serving the power of heaven, the God of heaven, when the Lord only chose the children of Israel, man. So I seen the one guy, I think it's 3 players for the Giants that's kind of coming up against it, and they can just cut it out. But again, this is Esau. This is Esau's world. He runs a wicked kingdom. Because what would be the need for that? Like, why are you pushing? Why do you go so hard about that particular June? They're not going that hard about Juneteenth. They might throw you a little flash on the big jumbo and shit, Happy Juneteenth or some shit like that. They're not making these football players, basketball players, Major League Baseball players wear anything with Juneteenth on it. Basketball, sometimes they'll have on them T-shirts and shit like that on the sideline, little shit like that. But they go extra, extra hard for this particular lifestyle when you won't go that hard for man and woman getting together and having children. You're not going that hard for a male actually being a male or a female actually being a female. You're not pushing that hard. Why don't you have a heterosexual month? And you had these guys have on a certain uniform or whatever, representing a man and woman being together. Why don't you do that? Why do you go so hard? And then you push this shit so hard onto people and say it's all about bringing people together or this exclusivity or whatever you want to call it. But when it comes to a person, the next person's belief, they can't believe in what they want to believe in, but you can force them to believe in what you believe in, which is very hypocritical, man. Anyway, and it's not to be surprising, but Hollywood actor Rob Schneider is offering to pay the fines of any Christian MLB player fined for showing dissent against Pride Night events. The 62-year-old claims forcing players to wear Pride Night hats against their personal beliefs smacks of hypocrisy. He feels the concept of inclusion and diversity cannot be upheld by silencing the opinions of the players. Yeah, they should have an option, And then these days, you can get canceled for your decision. You know what I'm saying? But hey, they should have that option and say, fuck it. But at the same time, too, when I was reading the article, I'm thinking to myself, like, well, all right, well, why don't you just quit? We get it, you're under contract, but and you know what, when they sign those contracts, they probably don't read the fine print, because in the fine print, you sign up for stuff like that. You really do. That's Esau. He put, especially the small top, the Amalekites, they put those little clauses and phrases off into those contracts where, okay, well, on page number 9070, under section Z, it says right here that you would agree to wear a damn thong out here if we want you to. You know what I'm saying? So Esau is sneaky, man. But at the same time, too, are you willing to say, no, well, I'll step down if that's what I got to do? Or just say, you know what, I'm not playing tonight. Are you willing to take that fine? Are you willing to pay that money? Are you willing to lose that money? Or are you willing to lose your job? But see, that's why the scriptures, let me get one real quick. It talks about you can't serve the Lord and money, man. And that's what this world, that's how so many of these people in Hollywood, like these actors, like this dude right here, like when you go into some of his movies, he plays some of them stupid, dumbass parts, man. He has some real doofy ass movies, man. Okay, so yeah, they was in Genesis 9 is what they was quoting the rainbow, basically. Starting at verses, let me see, was it, I think, yeah, starting at verse 12, basically, going down a few verses. But let me get this one, God Mammon real quick. We can come back to that, because that's one of the ones that this guy, he had on. I remember seeing him, he had it, I don't know if he Sharpied this shit on he had it written on his hat though. So I guess, and it was right next to the rainbow thing that they had on the hat. And I could probably pull it up and see. That was like a day or so ago when I saw that. I'm like, yeah, Esau and his bullshit. But when I seen this story, I'm like, all right, well, let me, by the Spirit, do a little something on it. Yeah, Matthew 6:24. No man can serve two masters. So if these guys was really true Christians, they would just be like, oh, well, fuck it, man, I'm out of here. Give me my little change that I already made, and I'll just go ahead and just, go on about my life. If they're so, in tuned with the Lord, and see, they don't have that attitude that the Lord is really going to take care of them, because they can just quit. They can just be like, oh, well, fuck it. They can take on the legal battles and all that. Oh, well, hey, man, I'll lose it all for the Lord. They're not doing that, man. Matthew 6:24 again. No man can serve two masters. For either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. See? So it's like, we have to get up and go to work. Say, for instance, we go to work, we have to get up, go and get our little daily bread. But if Esau get to acting goddamn crazy and wanting us to do shit that goes against the scriptures, we got a boogie. No, man, we all right. Well, have a good day, nigga. Good lifetime or whatever the fuck, nigga. No, I'm done. Here's your uniform. Here's your badge. Whatever the case may be. But I'm out. Just is what it is. So I get you having to go to work. You having to do a job. But a motherfucker is not about to put me in no pink shirt at the job with some shit that say Pride Month on it. I'm boogieing. I gotta go. Y'all have a good one. Anyway. And also, this was quoted in or the same scripture pretty much overall as in Luke 16:13. Reads a little different. Let's get it. No servant can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. And again, when you go into this word mammon, let's go into it real quick. And that is overall, that's what it is. I mean, because other than that, they would just quit. Why not just quit? Oh, this is my dream. I worked all my life from you see his little kid picture. He hitting the ball off the tee. You got all these pictures and trophies in the living room and shit. Oh, it's my dream. Well, why don't you walk away from it? Because that's taking up the cross, right? Let's get and this guy not gonna pay no damn fines. Unless he might be sitting on some bread though. So it's G3126. Mammon, treasure, riches, where it is personified and opposed to Yahweh. See, it says wealth. Yep, that's what it's going into. That's what it's going into. These dudes not gonna give up, their wealth. Let's see. You had a lot of people that was making a lot of excuses as to why they wasn't going to, why they couldn't just go ahead and follow the Lord immediately. Let me see. Yep, Matthew 16. Let's go into Matthew real quick. Let me see. We probably can get it all right here. Let me see if this is what we want here. Well, verse 24, 16 to 24, then Yahushua said, Salakia, then said Yahushua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever will lose his life for my sake shall find it. See? For what is a man profited if he shall gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall a man give in exchange for his soul? For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels. And then he shall reward every man according to his works. That's what we're faithfully and patiently waiting on, man. You don't think that brothers that's into this truth, before the Lord called them out? I mean, a lot of brothers have stuff going on. People, brothers is doing all kinds of manner of things. That was worldly, where they could have been famous, actors, actresses, rap stars, basketball players, football, whatever, you know what I'm saying? The little fame that Jake be running after. A lot of Jake, had a lot of talent and some, but it's all by the spirit and power of Yahweh by H.I.M because man's goings of the Lord. So the people that's there, they're there because the Lord wanted them to be there. The people that are into this truth, they're there because the Lord wanted them to be there. So let's go back to the article, okay? Because he makes some decent points, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you are part of that world. I'm telling you, I can't remember any of those movies like that. But I think one of those movies, it was some shit, I think it was something about some animals. And he was like he turned into some type of animal at night or something like that. And in that movie, he was sleeping with animals. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me see something real quick. I can't remember the name. It was disgusting as hell. I remember it was back in it because he goes back a little ways back. So let's put in I forgot what the name of that movie was, but it was a scene I think that was in it where he supposedly had been sleeping with a fucking animal, bro. which is bestiality. And I think he might be a small top. He might be a small hat. So he's out here. He's still selling tickets though. He does this little tour thing. Let me see. He put in. Let me see. I forgot what he was. Some shit about it. Let me see. Then that he had that silly ass. I think it was that one with Eddie Griffin. So he's a part of all this little shit. Let me see. The Animal. Damn, I said he was playing an animal. I didn't know the movie was called The Animal. That was 2001. So see how long ago that was? That was like 25 years ago. This him right here. This is him right here. The Animal. And he was dealing with this little chick in there. But something about, I forgot, I'm trying to think, damn, did he sleep with this goddamn goat? He was on the animals in that motherfucker though. It was some nasty, disgusting ass shit. I remember that shit. I'm like, nah, nigga, this nigga crazy. So he's and it's funny that he's standing there with that damn goat. But anyway, let's go back, because Esau is just weird as hell, bro. Here you go, you acting as if you care like that, and you out here doing movies like this where anybody can bring that movie up on you, nigga. Okay, it says, why are they trying to make baseball gay? We have enough gay sports. Baseball already has gay music. We are the champions. YMCA. At what point is enough? It says they're all for diversity, equity, and inclusion unless you have diversity of opinion. Then you're not included. Yeah, that's true. Oh, this is the guy right here. He had he was the one that put the Bible verse about the rainbow, because that's these people's logo now. They take the rainbow. Like, what does the rainbow have to do with you penetrating another dude? Come on, bro. When we know what the rainbow is about, it's about the covenant that the Lord made with the earth. After the flood, that's what that rainbow is about. And they done took that, man, and rainbows are beautiful. I've seen some, man, it's just outstanding. I've seen a few where it's like, golly, bro, I'm talking about motherfucking rainbow for miles. I've seen some where it's just like, it was one day, it was just like, this shit was so fucking huge, and everybody was looking up. Everybody was looking up. You couldn't help but look up. It was that big. The sky was clear. It was like cars were stopping. People was like, damn, you see that? It was right after it rained. Everybody was discussing it. As a matter of fact, I think I took some pictures of it. It was in another phone, though. Anyway, Rob Schneider posted a statement on social media vowing to pay the fines for any player if fined by the MLB for wearing a Bible verse on their uniform. He deemed the league anti-Christian for its actions against the players voicing opposition to Pride Night. Well, all of you are anti-Christian, because none of you believe and see, when people get to talking about, the Antichrist. Well, the scriptures talks about there's many Antichrists. Matter of fact, let's get it real quick. There's many Antichrists. Get this clown off of my phone. It's not just this, Esau, the so-called white man. He has fooled the world into believing that there's this red guy underground with the spandex suit on, with the pitchfork, and he's torturing every damn body that's the Antichrist, or some guy popping up in a suit and tie, and he's just wicked as hell. All of you are wicked as hell. Let's put it in. Let me see. Yep, 1 John 2:18. Little children, it is the last time. And as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. So we know that we're in the last days, man. 2 John 1:7, for many deceivers are entered into the world, who confess not that Yahushua Mashiach is come in the flesh. This is a deceiver and an antichrist. So anybody that don't believe that, they don't believe that Yahushua came in the flesh, they're antichrist anyway, and there's billions of them on the planet. You know? And all these people are antichrist right here, man, because they're not going to tell you the truth. They don't want to hear nothing about the Lord being a so-called black man. So that's anti the Mashiach right there. They don't want to hear that. And if they're denying that, it don't matter what his name is. It don't matter what his color was, what race he was. That's an antichrist. Or we say Mashiach. We don't even use the word Christ like that. You know, the Messiah, man, the anointed one. They're anti the anointed one. Okay, it says, on Friday, San Francisco Giants pitcher Landon Rope, J.T. Brubaker, and Ryan Walker. And see, these are pretty much, I think these are all Edomites, but you have a lot of Northern Kingdom. They don't give a fuck. They put that shit on going out there and play. They like, man, fuck it. I'm just going, they don't care. They not making no stance when it comes to Mother Mary or that Catholic shit they believe in. But these Edomites, they'll some of them will make a stance because they really believe in white Jesus. Okay, it says they expressed dissent against the Pride Night events at Oracle Park. They wrote Genesis 9:12 through 16 over the rainbow-colored team logos on the hats, a reference to the specific Bible verse. Rob Schneider, well, you know that, again, that's the Bible verses. Matter of fact, let's just go into it. Genesis 9:12 through 16. Talks about the rainbow. Beautiful. Rainbows are beautiful, man, but Esau has tainted that, man, I mean, not like he's going to make us just not believe in it. That's what it is. The Lord created it, but he has tainted it, man. He is, you walking around with anything got something to do with a rainbow, you're going to be associated with these nasty niggas. Genesis 9 and I think it was, let's start at verse 12. I'll read it in an amplified AMP. It says, and Yahweh said, this is a token, visible symbol, memorial of the solemn covenant which I am making between me and you and every living creature that is with you for all future generations. I set my rainbow in the clouds, and it shall be a sign of a covenant between me and the earth. So it's a covenant, man. It shall come about when I bring clouds over the earth, that the rainbow shall be seen in the clouds, and I will compassionately remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh, and never again will the water become a flood to destroy all flesh. When the rainbow is in the clouds, and I look at it, I will solemnly remember the everlasting covenant between God, Yahweh, and every living creature of all flesh that is on the earth. And that's what it was about. And Yahweh said to Noah, this rainbow is the sign of a covenant, solemn pledge, binding agreement, which I have established between me and all living things on earth. All right? And then, of course, you had the sons, Shem, Ham, Japheth, which repopulated the planet. And we came from Shem. And really, in reality, you know what I'm saying? Shem was, the progenitors or the people that come from Shem, those, were the people that ended up, a lot of nations came from Shem. But there was one nation of people, that the Lord chose, that Israel came out of Shem. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And Jacob's name was changed to Israel, or Yashral in the Hebrew tongue, and he had 12 sons, which are the 12 tribes of Israel today. And so, the elect of those people are going to be, we're going to take that rainbow back, man. And you motherfuckers that's been fucking with it like how you have been, you're going to be, and guess what? The Lord is going to send, see, he made a covenant that he's not going to destroy the earth with water anymore. But guess what? There's fire coming. There's fire coming to especially Babylon the Great here, Could hit a couple of little different little parts around it. But mainly Babylon the Great, America, is going to be destroyed with thermonuclear fire because they are the pushers and promoters mainly of this shit, man. To go along, of course, Amalek, he's running things anyway. The so-called Israeli, but yeah, you Edomites, you Babylonians, man, the Lord is going to deal with you harshly. Anyway, I want to keep this long, man. That's pretty much what's about it on Okay, but he says he feels the league cannot force players to adopt their ideology, regardless of their personal beliefs. Well, it's all about the money. That's the thing. It's the money. They know that they control you because you're not gonna. That's how they're gonna get everybody with the microchip. Because it's people gonna want to eat. People are not gonna have no faith in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. You know, the scripture says, "My servant shall eat, my servant shall drink." These other people that's not into that, or the Lord hasn't, they're not a part of the elect. They're gonna take that microchip because they're gonna want to keep their money. First off, those bank accounts that they have with all that fucking money in it. You got these millionaires, these billionaires. These people gonna want it. You know, you can have a person with $10,000 in the bank. A person gonna take that chip because they got $1,000 in the bank, or $500 in the bank, $300 in the bank, $100 in the bank, 50 shit. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna take that chip because Esau gonna tell you, hey, well, you want to keep your money? We're gonna close. We got to close your bank account down. You know what I'm saying? If you won't have no access to that. We're just gonna take that. You know what I'm saying? And you're done. You're gonna have a lot of people. Well, okay, well, what do I have to do? Where do I sign up? Where do I do this act? They give your ass an appointment. You're gonna pop up with your kids and whoever else, and they're gonna take that shit, man, because they don't have no integrity. You know, these people are not dependent. They don't really truly trust in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Because other than that, like I said again, these dudes would just quit. Just go ahead and quit. Like, oh well, I made a few million. I'm already, you can keep what it was that you was offering to me. Like, fuck it, I'll just take the L. But I'll take my little earnings of what I did make and go ahead and keep this shit pushing. Shit, go get me a fucking job somewhere. Okay, it says baseball players signed up to play baseball. What part of their contract said, oh, you also have to promote our leftist ideology that may be against your religious beliefs? It's probably in the contract somewhere. I'm willing to bet you that. Esau is real. Hey, them Amalekites, man, they the contract, the written contracts that's in play that they push in America, no matter what it is. It can be for a car. It can be for marriage. It can be for shit. A simple agreement that you may sign with somebody coming to do your roofing or whatever the case may be. They're the main ones that put together those contracts. They put that wording in there. You know what I'm saying? A little small print and shit that they call it legalese, shit that you don't understand. Then you just sign your name on that line at the bottom. And once you do that, it's a done deal. Okay, so I don't want to play the video. We could play it, but it says pride over faith, right? These people don't have no faith. These people are not real Christians. They're not Christians, man. It says the MLB has not issued any fines to any players for their gestures during Pride Night promotions as yet. Schneider declared his statement after the league warned players of punitive actions for showing any dissent. See? So they may back off, they may push forward, but it's coming to a point where they don't care. They're just pushing full steam ahead because they was getting backlash. A lot of stadiums was coming up empty. You know what I'm saying? Because people wasn't going to certain games and wasn't promoting certain teams that was pushing shit like this. You know what I'm saying? So they understand that okay, this could ruin my whole calendar year. You know what I'm saying? Shit, we gotta put people in these seats so we can sell these expensive ass fucking hot dogs and these expensive beers and shit. So they don't want to take it too far. It's like it's up in the air. It's like, because it's all about money. The team owners don't want to lose no money. Then the players don't want to lose no money. And there's no righteousness in these people, man. They stand there, fucking hand over their heart and shit, talking about I pledge allegiance to the flag and that Star Spangled Banner bullshit and all that shit was you stole in the name of idolatrous white Jesus, man. So, and this is actually a fall. Let me get my favorite script. I end out with my favorite script, man. I say this is my favorite scripture. I got a bunch of them, but I just I love this one because it's got to do with the fall of these people, man. Love it, man. Here you go, these big burly ass white boys is out here with this fucking. You just had the 250th anniversary UFC fight with a bunch of big ass white dudes and shit, oiled up, wrestling in panties, man. With Trump standing there looking like he just, that guy might be low key, undercover, man. He could be in them Epstein files, really. You know, dealing with some dude, man. They said that he was sucking off bubble when they first released them one sets of files, and we ain't heard nothing else about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Here you go. The last thing I'm gonna have on my 80th birthday is some oiled up, greasy ass guys wrestling around in some panties. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck is you? That's what you wanted. That was that out of all the things as a billionaire you could have done for your 80th birthday. That's what you wanted. Suspect. Anyway. Ecclesiastes 25:7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy, and the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemies. And that's what we're witnessing. You're witnessing the fall of your enemies, man. When you see a dude, like, look at this dude. They got you out here in some pride shit. Esau. But you know you got Israelites that look like this. But I'm thinking these are Edomites, though. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that one, because you can see they got the picture of the hat marked off right here. They're not showing you the hat, you know. So let me see if I can find what was his name again? It's Lucky, bear with me. They like nope, no tamper with the tamper with the uniforms. I forgot what they call it. Well, let me see. So these are all 3 of the pictures, I guess, for the Giants. And you know them guys, they sit over there, man, with that water tobacco in their mouth, spitting and shit, sunflower seeds or whatever the fuck. You know they not with it, but they just like, man, let's just get the game over with and just get our money and go home. Because Esau don't be, you know. Yeah, Esau, he's all over the place. Here you go right here. Let me see. See right here. See, they got it. You know, they scribbled it in with the white hookup. But look at that shit, man. And you know, San Francisco though. You know, that's one of those cities though. You know, so this guy got it on his hat too. I'm surprised Esau don't start selling them bitches out of stores. You know what I'm saying? He'll get a deal with New Era. But you see these dudes, they not with it, man. But hey, you know you about that money. Look at this shit. Nah, man. You know what I'm saying? Nah. You know, certain shit, you gotta just grow a set, man, and take it there, man. Like, hey, look, bro, nah, I'm good. You are not about to have me at work with no fucking pride, nothing on. And it's, you know, Jake take these jobs, and they have these jobs where it's like they don't have no mindset of you know, of the bullshit get to going, you know, to get the fuck on. They gotta pay bills. That's how I said again, you know, with the microchip. This is how they're gonna get. This is how you know people. They may not be with it. They know there's something wrong with it. They know that it's. I don't want to deal with it, but I need this money. I gotta survive. I gotta pay rent. I need to pay my car note. My kids gotta eat. You know, my kids. You know, I gotta pay their school tuition. I gotta whatever. And see, they know that the next generation over, if there were to be another one, which we praying that, you know, this is it. They know that, you know, they pretty much, they got it set where just, I would say one more good generation. It's pretty much set in stone already, but one generation, you get a little more of these older people being killed on off or dying on off. But this newer generation, like say babies that was born today, and they turn 18, oh, it's a done deal. By the time they hit 18, it's already a wrap with these ones right now. You know, you got 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, where they came in at the height of woman marrying woman, man marrying man. You know, so it's normal to them. So you got a lot of them. You know, they trying to teach this to your kids when they first go to school. You got these fucking drag queens and shit coming through, drag queen story time, reading some fucking gay BC book to your kids and shit. Like, come on, bro. But we almost out of here, man. So I just wanted to just touch on this. You know, Rob Schneider with the Animal movie. He might as well shut the fuck up. Because he was on some bestiality in that movie, man. Real nasty work. Anyway, with that, pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwame Yashala and a Baba Ball.